So the first step in processing the owner draw is collecting management fees. And it's a pretty simple process. You're just going to log into AppFolio. You'll go to the accounting tab and then to payables. From the payables page, you're just going to come over to the right taskbar and you'll click pay management fees. You're going to leave everything as it is and just hit search. Whenever we do the draw for the 10th, because we do the draw on the 10th, the 20th, and the last day of the month, but whenever we do the 10th draw, we always post first for as is, and then we'll also do another search and hit end of last month so that we can collect any fees that didn't get collected for the previous month. And it's just this one right here. But for now, we're just going to leave it as is. It'll search and show you all of the management fees that need to be collected. So here we have 18 properties with fees that need to be paid. And so we'll just hit post. And then from here, we're going to enter the payment information so we can search for how we're paying. The bank account is always going to be all MICR bank accounts. And then the payee type is the management company. And so then we'll just hit search. And this is going to be all of the bills that we're paying to ourselves as the management company. In this scenario, we just select all of the bills and then continue. Okay, and this is just a notification letting me know that some of the funds that we're collecting are exceeding the amounts available in the property account. Which is fine. The account will go negative, but then we'll proceed to collect that from the owner. So I'm just going to continue. Okay, and here you can see we're paying this one check to ourselves, and we're just going to finalize that. Okay, and then print it. We don't print an actual check for this portion of it. We just call it a fake check because it looks like a check. It has all the check details, but we print it on a regular piece of paper so that we're not wasting a check. And then what we're going to do is do a bank transfer from our trust account to our operating account, essentially just paying ourselves. Okay, so once the bank transfer has been completed and the funds have been moved from the trust account to the operating account, we then need to go in and pull the check register detail report so that we can do the journal entry that shows that we're moving those funds from the trust account to the operating account and what departments what GL codes we're assigning those to. So we'll go to the reporting tab on the left, into reports, and I have the check register detail is saved to one of my favorite reports. I also have the formatting saved to it as well, but basically you're going to pull a check register detail report for today's date, so you can just do today or enter the date specifically if you want. And then we're choosing the trust account, and then we're going to choose this checkbox down here, which is group GL totals per check, and that one's really important because that's going to give you the formatting that you need to enter everything. Once you hit edit, it's going to pull up this report, which is basically showing you that check, that fake check that we cut a moment ago for the $26,389.80. This is where all of that money came from. So we collected leasing fees and sales tax and commissions and all of these items that we need to assign appropriately to receive those funds in the operating account. So we'll print this so that we can use it as reference. So now that we have our check register detail report, we're going to hop back over to AppFolio. We're going to go into the accounting tab again under journal entries. All right, and from here we're going to hit new journal entry. Okay. And then the property is always going to be our operating, so it's RPM operating. and the remark is always going to be owner draw and then whatever date it is. I use this as reference for pretty much everything that we're doing when we're doing the owner draw. So usually when I type it in the first time when doing the bank transfer, I just copy it so I can continue to paste it as I'm moving through. So owner draw, and then we're going to start from the trust account. Sorry, it's actually under primary. So the primary bank account, that's our trust account. Again, I'm going to paste here owner draw, and then the date of the draw. And then under the debit amount, I'm going to put the amount of the check, the fake check that we cut earlier, the total amount that you should see on your check register detail report, which in this scenario is $26,389.80. And as you can see, journal entry is automatically, pulling this number over here for the credit. But what we're going to do now is go through and break this down line by line based on the check register detail report that we pulled. So, for example, here you can see the leasing fee, we collected $395. So our first new account is going to be for the leasing fee. Now, we're using the revenue accounts when we're doing this, and it's the revenue accounts are all going to be the 4,000 accounts. This is the GL code that is specific to our operating account receiving funds. So it's the 4,000 account for the leasing fee. And then we'll come down here and enter $395 because that's how much of this total $26,000 was collected in leasing fees. From there, we're just going to tab down to the next line and continue down this list, entering sales tax collections, commissions, every item that you see here in the GL accounts into revenue. There is an important distinction here. So if you're looking, you can see I have two revenue accounts for the renewal fee. There is a renewal fee for the owner, and there's a renewal fee for the tenant. And if you're not super familiar with the GL, the best way for you to determine that is when looking at your check register detail. You can see here that this renewal fee, the GL account it was collected under is 0-5, and a 0-5 account is going to be an owner charge. If it were a 0-4 GL account, then this renewal fee would be a tenant renewal fee, and so then we would code it to that on the revenue side. But in this scenario, it's a 0-5 and therefore is an owner renewal fee. Now for late fees, we also have several different accounts that are going to show up here. The one that we are defaulted to is a late fee system because our late fees bill automatically by the system, and that's where all late fees for tenant charges are applied. Okay, for the preventative program fee, there's actually a couple of different GL codes that are in here for this. You can see preventative program revenue, preventative program fee, preventative program fee number 2. We are only using just the standard preventative program fee with the revenue account of 480030. Now, this admin fee that shows up on the report, there are two different revenue accounts for this. There's just the short admin fee, and then there's administration fee. We use the administration fee revenue account for that. You'll see when looking at the check register detail, you're going to have a couple of different utility GL codes, because when we bill them to the owner and or the tenant, we're always going to bill it based on what that utility is, whether it's gas, water, electric, or other. When we're receiving them in the revenue account, it's always just utilities revenue, and there's no distinction between whether it's, gas or water or anything. So you'll see a couple of entries that are going to come through under just utilities revenue. Once all of your GL accounts and your amounts received are entered, you should always equal. If you don't, it's going to very easily show you that it doesn't match based on one being red and then you can find the difference there. So it's always good to just review that just in case anything pops up. Once you're done, you're just going to hit save, and then you'll print this as a part of the package for the owner draw report.